Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello there. Time for another one of these videos where let's see if I actually am aware or if I'm not. This brought, of course, bright side. Original video will be down in the description below. Oh my gosh. I literally started talking like something ran into my throat. Okay. Yeah. 12 strange things you only see in India. I don't know. I guess that's relevant everywhere because everywhere has strange things or strange people. I mean, there's several things you can only see in San Francisco which literally are the polar opposites of each other. It's just they should make a video like that. That would be hilarious. And I'd be like, yep, I'm aware of that. Yep, I'm aware of that. Yep, I saw that when I lived there.
So here's a fun riddle for you. Where in the world are wedding rings worn on the toes and people serve bowls instead of waves? No, it's not New Jersey, folks. It's India.
Of course.
And it's a place full of odd customs and curiosities
Odd?
you probably didn't know about. And guess what?
It's only
Today's
odd
your
because
lucky
you're not
day.
aware of it.
I'm going to tell you about it. For example, there's, in descending order, number 12, the quirks of Indian English. Now, India is one of the largest English-speaking countries in the world, second only to the U.S. But in a country with around 880 spoken languages, only 22 of which are even officially recognized,
Pretty sure it's more than
no wonder
880.
Indian English may sometimes tickle your ear in a strange way. For instance, if a person starts talking to you with a weird yar sound, don't worry, that's just the Indian way to say, "Hey dude!" Indians would probably ask your name with the phrase, "What's your good name?" And no, that doesn't mean you have some kind of a bad name that you somehow earned. It's just a way of being polite. And when an Indian person finally starts addressing you by your first name, they may add G to the end to show how much they respect you. Ah, my dear Brightsider G. 11. Beautifully adorned toes. In India, when two loving hearts decide to marry each other, the groom must put a wedding ring on his bride's toe. Yup, that's the custom. These wedding rings are called bichia, and every
Not
bride
everywhere,
wears them
though,
on
correct?
both her second toes as a sign of her newly married state. There
It's
are
really
other
just
kinds
depends
of toe
on
rings
where
in
in
too.
India. Am I right about
Some
that?
men wear them on their big toes in a belief that it'll boost their strength and vigor. Indians are famous for their love of gold, but toe rings are mostly made of silver because it's inappropriate to wear gold below the waist. Number 10.
Okay, that's interesting.
Unbreakable promises. Most people in India believe that a spoken word has immense power within it. And if you break a promise, you'll enrage spirits and deities. The most powerful promise is the promise of a mother. So if an Indian person swears by this, then you better believe them if you don't want to come off as really rude.
Yeah, it's funny because my best friend does that all the time, and like he'll swear on her as he's gonna do something next time. He's gonna work harder next time, and then the next year comes around. The year after that comes around. It's just I'm like, it literally has no meaning, but to actually have it hold weight because I'm so used to hearing things and it just knowing that it doesn't mean anything is just a turning phrase is what I'm used to it being, just something
Number
that people
9,
say.
the birthplace of plastic surgery. Among India's most sacred texts, there's one that baffles surgeons and medical experts to this day. It's
course.
called the Sushruta Samhita, and it's a fundamental part of the Indian practice of Ayurveda. It was written by the ancient Indian surgeon Sushruta somewhere between 1000 BCE and 500 BCE. The text describes
So we have India to thank for all the fake people walking around in the U.S. I think South Korea is the most notorious for overuse of plastic surgery, if I'm correct in that statistic. Well, of course, via the people that live there to the size of the location. I think that is correct, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's wrong to hide who you are, or I understand people don't feel comfortable with who they are and they want to change because not everyone can be born, happy with how they look, but you just have to Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Tons of unbelievably complex surgical procedures. But the most fascinating thing is that it proves that India is probably the birthplace of all plastic surgery. Even for his time, Sushruta was totally capable of doing nose jobs, or rhinoplasties if you want to be technical, and earlobe reconstructions. Not exactly what would make movie stars seem forever young, but still impressive. Speaking of movies, number 8, twice the Hollywood.
I thought it was like 3 times.
India's Bollywood is the largest film industry in the world. No, not Hollywood. Bollywood produces about 1,200 films every year. That's twice the amount that Hollywood puts out.
So it's just Bollywood they're talking about,
and
not
if you
Hollywood,
want to start an acting
Mollywood.
career in India,
That makes sense.
you better learn how to sing and dance, since most of the movies produced there are music.
See, I always thought I could do a great job as an actor. Of course, I wouldn't be able to. I'd have to learn the language. But I think I'd do a great job. I'd always have to play the villain, though. I'd always have to play the villain in the Indian cinema. I would love to play the villain. I think that would just be so cool. I could easily play the part. I can easily get angry, be vicious, and I'm an incredibly tall white man. So I think it would work. I think it would work.
Musicals. This
can't
passion
dance,
for
though.
musicals stems from a deep appreciation for Indian traditional dance and folklore. Also, it's no secret that Bollywood was inspired by Hollywood works from the 1920s to 1950s, many of which were musicals. Bollywood got its B from Bombay, the city where most Indian films are produced, which of course changed its name to Mumbai in 1995. Yeah, they should keep the B. Mollywood just, isn't the same.
But
number 7.
there is a
Holy
Mollywood, right?
rats. I know, it sounds absurd, so let me explain.
I am aware of this. I am absolutely aware of this. And honestly, I would love to visit the temple, but I don't think I would be able to go with it, the person I'd want to, because they are deathly afraid of rats, mice, and I would love to see it because the fact that they eat from the plates, they are respected. I find it fascinating. The fact that you could sit down and they'd be crawling all over because they have no fear. They have been raised to believe that everything is. I think it's interesting.
According to an ancient Indian legend, the mighty and worshipped warrior sage Karni Mata tragically lost her stepson Laxman when he accidentally fell in a pond and drowned. Karni Mata was in
Sounds
such
like Bruce
grief
Willis in
that
Glass.
she begged the gods to save him. Well, they did, but on one condition. All of her male children would be reincarnated as rats. Ah, those wacky gods. What a unique sense of humor, huh? So that's why the temple devoted to Karni Mata in Deshnok is known as Rat Temple. Here you are, going through a huge hall completely covered in rats. But people here are happy to come and share their food with these sacred long-tailed
I would love
rodents.
to visit. I would.
Hey, might be a relative. It's a particular honor to come across and feed the rare white rats in the temple. They're believed to be the true reincarnation of Karni Mata and her sons. Number 6. Bull.
I had pet rats growing up. So, of course, the little babies I fed to the pet snake, but they are sweet. They are intelligent if they are raised. Like I remember I would keep, her name wasn't Shelly. Shelly started with an S. Wasn't Stella, Sherry? I don't remember. But yeah, I would always hold her, carry her. She was sweet. She was sweet. Of course, if you get one that bites, you have to get rid of them. I remember I had a mouse. No, it was a rat that I had. I had a mouse that bit, and I had to get rid of that thing because as soon as they bite, they will continue to bite. That's an issue with. But if you raise them right, you feed them right, you take care of them, you show them affection. The same thing with like serpents. If you're taking care of a serpent, if you constantly hold the snakes, they're not going to bite you because they're used to it. But let's say you leave a snake in a tank for so long. I mean, that's what the one I got. It had been left in a tank for like a year, 2 years. And it only knew when its cage was open, it was going to get fed. So when I reached my hand in to grab it, it had bit me like the first 3 times. But after I kept pulling it out and holding it, it finally calmed down and realized that, oh, this is normal. Because I'd pull it out, I'd hold it, I'd put the food in the tank. And then I'd hold him in one arm and put the food in the tank with the other arm. And he'd see it. and then I'd let them back in afterwards, after I'd hold them for a bit, after the mouse got used to the, being in the tank. And it's so cool. It's so cool watching the circle of life. So I'd raise rats. It'd give birth to pinkies. I let the pinkies grow up a little bit when the snake got bigger, and then I just feed the little babies. It's just so, I sound evil saying it now.
Whoa, gnarly dude. If you ever go to the village of Anandapalli after harvest season, then you might be able to watch some bull surfing. How do you surf a bull? Very carefully, I'd guess. You see, first off, they make a track on a flooded field that becomes pretty much a big muddy swamp. Then teams, yeah, it's a competitive sport, compete to stay on a board being pulled through the water by two bulls. These jockeys train for this event, and the bulls are groomed and cleaned with their horns being polished nice and shiny. Doesn't last very long. Can you see yourself hanging 10 on a board driven by two really big mammals in your hands? And that's no bull. Wait, yes it is. Turf's up, dude. Number 5. Who to thank for your clean hair? Did you know
shampoo.
The word shampoo has Indian roots? Well, that comes as no surprise since shampooing itself originates in India.
I've seen a few of these and he repeats the same things. I guess after a while you just...
And was initially used to describe the process of hair strengthening with herbs common in India. But India has good reason to pay so much attention to their locks. The country sells over $20 billion worth of hair in a single month.
What?
Such amounts are second only to China. But even this hair-selling giant mixes its product with Indian hair for better quality. Number 4.
What?
Serious wildlife conservation. India gets a lot of criticism for its pollution problem, which there's no denying that it's a serious one. But that doesn't say anything about Indian people's attitude towards wildlife.
Hey.
There are 104 national parks in India, with over 15,000 square miles of overall coverage. Some of the rarest animals on Earth inhabit these parks, like the bizarre-looking purple frog, the smallest pig in the world, the pygmy hog, and the largest living bat, the Indian flying fox. These endangered species are in severe need of protection, and India has proven itself very capable of wildlife conservation. Just take the country's national...
Yeah, I know I've mentioned this before, but cobras, I don't know why. I think they're absolutely creepy. They bother me. They absolutely bother me. Like, I love serpents. I love snakes. That the way they move, the way every muscle in their body in order to slither around, the fact that the scales at the bottom of their belly are kind of like legs that propel them forward too. It kind of helps out with how they can do that to help them through the way they move their muscles. But for some reason, the fact that cobras can have those, neck weird, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't look right. It doesn't fit with my idea of a serpent. It doesn't. It just creeps me out because it doesn't look like what I'm used to with a snake. Because every other snake out there, literally, unless you're looking at a sea serpent, where those literally have the cobra's gills just along the entire line of the fish, snake, whatever it is, it's a water serpent. But it just bothers me. It bothers me. I don't know what it is. It just seems off. It doesn't look like it belongs. The fact that it's squeezed, it just...
symbol as an example. In 2010, there were only between 1,700 and 1,900 Bengal tigers left in the world.
How many now?
But those numbers are now up to around 2,200. The Bengal tiger is still considered
endangered with one of those,
even though it's the biggest tiger species in terms of numbers. So you can imagine how grave the situation is for its cousins elsewhere. Number 3. Towers of Silence. India is not only home to rare wildlife species, but some uncommon ideologies too. One of them is Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrians believe fire and earth to be sacred fundamental elements, so it's very bad for them to bury or cremate their departed. The solution they came up with was to build towers of silence for the deceased. Also known as dakma, these towers have no roof so that nature can step in and do the work as an undertaker. The only towers of silence still functional to this day are in India. But let's move on to a place that's very much alive and definitely not silent. Number 2. Packed like sardines in trains. India has the 4th largest railway system in the world, with almost 42,000 miles of track overall. But if you want to keep a pleasant impression of this country in your heart, then you might want to avoid trains at all costs. Or if you're just curious to see people hang off the sides and ride on the roof of the train, then India is the place to go.
I'd want to get on the roof.
Local commuter trains in India are unbelievably overcrowded most of the time. So even trying to get in one is pretty much impossible. And don't even bother trying to get a seat. You'd be wasting your time. But still, these crazy packed trains have sort of become a tourist attraction in and of themselves. But still, I'd take Uber or something for short distances if I were you. Number 1.
Good.
Pageants for true beauties. Hey, what's more beautiful than a huge Indian elephant? Can't think of anything? That's a tough one. Well, the only real answer is the most beautiful Indian elephant, of course. There's a contest dubbed as such that happens each year on the full moon between February and March. And this pageant is a key part of Jaipur's famous Indian festival. Nowhere else in the world are these gorgeous giants celebrated like they are here. People get down to work preparing for the festival by cleaning the elephants and decorating them with an array of stunning embellishments and clothes. They even paint colorful designs on them. Then, everybody votes for the most beautiful and gracious elephant at the festival. It's really nice to know that these kind and helpful creatures can get so much respect and love. Boy, you could see that one coming now, couldn't you? Hey, what's the most amusing fact about India that you know? Add your own points to the list in the comments down below. And don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, share it with your friends.
Yeah, so other than the honestly, I would like to see. I already knew about the rats. I knew that one years ago. Yeah. So I honestly always wanted to see it because I found it fascinating. The fact that these critters that are like absolutely like a lot of people are instinctively afraid of them, just like with a lot of people are instinctively afraid of snakes. And it's just I find fascinating that the fact that they're free reign, absolutely free reign. And I'd so want to go there just to see them because I'm curious, are they friendly? Can you hold them or is that not allowed? Is it, can you, because I like animals, okay? I like animals. I prefer them normally better, more than humans, just because animals, you know exactly what's going on in their mind. They're either hungry, they're either sleepy, or they're either afraid of you. That's pretty much it. That's all that really goes through. Humans are a little more devious. So yeah, I mean, I would love to visit. I'd love to see them, but I'm also curious, like, they have free reign, so do they have diseases? Do they get their shots? Or is the area, because they're allowed to free reign, because they get good, probably good quality food, because it's shared with them, they get things that are actually better for them than scavenging, are they actually healthy? I'm curious about that. That's interesting because, of course, they don't get shots. Are there doctors, like vets, running around trying to make sure they tag each and every one? I mean, that's impossible. They're rats. They're everywhere. There's no way you could ever find them all. So I'm curious about those little things. Of course, you're probably not allowed to handle them or touch them. And if they run across your path or climb on you, you just don't move. I'm pretty sure that's the norm. But I'm curious about those things. I'm interested. But yeah, I don't think there was any real surprise here for me. I've already known pretty much all of this stuff. Yeah, except for the fact that cobras, they bother me. They bother me. So it bothers me when I forget his name, but he has like the cobras on his shoulders, and it's just like, ugh, he's evil. He's evil. I know he's not evil, but it's just it makes me think that maybe it's the fact that it's Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe or Jafar from The Wizard of Oz who turned into a cobra, and I just have that bad taste because everyone who was a cobra was evil, and snakes are good, I guess. I don't know. Thank you all for watching. This was 12 strange things you only see in India, and I don't think this was 12 strange things you only see in India. And I'm pretty sure that ring thing is only done in certain parts of India. There's no way it's all over, because I'm pretty sure that for the males, they wear their wedding finger on their right hand, correct? Because it's Western that you always wear it on your left, and in India it goes on your right hand. That's for males at least. Women always wear it on their left. From what I understand in certain areas, I don't know, but I don't mind the toe ring thing. I mean, I'm someone who finds the nose ring to chain to the ear. I love the look of that. I think that's an amazing look. So toe rings too, sure, fine. I mean, I couldn't wear them. I think I guess you'd get used to it after a while, but I have really long toes, and I'd be wanting to curl and make sure, because I had that once when I had a loose ring before. I'd always be closing my hand to make sure it didn't fall off. I digress. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles.